everybody, it's Aquila, and this is a Lefty Knitter podcast, episode 149. I just want to, right off the jump, say thank you to all the kind words and messages from the last episode. My mom is still in the hospital. Today is January the 18th. It's Tuesday. I think that's right. So not really, she's still in the hospital, so she's been there since Friday, and, she has an infection going on. She is on oxygen and IV fluids and antibiotics, and, so there's a lot going on. I haven't been able to get a lot of good answers out of her or her nurses, or she's still actually in the ER, in a room in the ER, but I just haven't gotten, in my opinion, I haven't gotten a lot of really great information from any of the parties. One, because my mom just can't remember things and she's sleeping a lot. And two, I just think they're so overwhelmed. So, they told me when I talked to like the nurses station, they told me that they were still trying to get her in a room. So I don't know what that means, because last time they were saying she was trying to get her in a room. I mean, this is at the other hospital. Then they discharged her. So who knows? Like, I don't know. Update on, he's my cousin also, even though it's John's blood related relative. He's still family to me too. He is now off a ventilator, and he was able to say hello to his mom, and tears, right? So, so that's where we are. So this is a knitting podcast, but I just needed to get that out there because even though I am real and I'm telling you guys everything, I still feel like I want to be accountable. I know I don't need to be sorry, and I don't need to tell you reasons why I may not podcast, but I have always put out that this is just real life here, and we're all human, and we all have struggles, and we're all going through things, and there you go. If it was something like that just shouldn't be talked about, like, personally, I shouldn't be putting information out, I wouldn't do that, but like, this is not that. So, it's not something that I have to like keep hush hush or whatever, because we're all going through things, and mental health and everything else. So, all right. So this is primarily a knitting podcast now that we're 3 minutes in. I video through the week, or at least I attempt to, and I smoosh them all together and post a video at the end of the week. I just want to thank you to any new viewers, any returning viewers, all the time. I just really appreciate everyone. I really love doing this, and I think that's another reason, like, I still put the video out there, because I'm invested in this. This is part of my life, this is a very large part of my life. So yeah, I love yarn. I love all crafting things. So we didn't have much to show last week. I didn't have much to show, but I am going to re-show you. I don't even think I showed these in the last episode, so this would have been 2 episodes ago. I had cranked these socks on my machine. So this is Urth yarns, and this was a special St. Patrick's Day colorway. And I had made a pair of shorty socks with these, but I wanted to use the rest of the yarn to make a bigger, longer pair of socks. So that is exactly what I did. And I cranked them on my machine. So this is what I had done. I had done a ribbed cuff. Now this is not part of the yarn. This is the Urth yarn. This is a Jaeger spun. This is the Urth yarn. And then this is a Knit Pick Stroll. So I have a marker here for that's where my heel is gonna go. It's right there. But I did put my heel in on the other one, and I did use the deep dyed yarns. So let's put that on a blocker. This is the Kiwi in deep dyed yarns. I apologize for the coughing. I slept in my bed for the first time flat since Christmas, because when I would lay flat, it just was not doing well here. And today is my first day that I'm weaning myself off of the steroid inhaler, because that's what I'm supposed to be doing. So it's been a little bit of a rougher day. Not gonna lie. All right, let's get this on the blocker, since I said that's what I was doing, and then, you know, coughing ensued. So these are much longer. I love them. I love them so much. I don't even care that, like, so this yarn kind of matches here, so that's awesome. And then this yarn doesn't really go at all, other than it's green. And then this yarn, I just loved, so I used it. So I have to cut in the other heel, and I'll do that. I got yelled at for doing that, because apparently it'll form a habit, and then I'll do it all the time, but I don't know if that's true. Don't know. All right, I cranked something else because I'm trying to make videos. So I have an Erlbacher Gearhart Speedster. If you're new to the channel, I have a circular sock machine, and I have a 64 stitch and a 72. I mostly use my 64. And I've been trying to do some tutorials. So I did post a tutorial on how to cast on your machine if you don't have a bonnet already. So I did that. It's not the greatest, but you know, like I've talked about, I've done a few small tutorial type things before. Sometimes you learn better from someone else. Like, there might be 5 videos out there, and that 5th video is the one that finally, like, you got it. Like, it clicked. So I just feel like me putting an extra video out there in the YouTube universe isn't really hurting anything. And I'm trying to also post them on Instagram, so, you know, in my IGTV or whatever. So these were part of my tutorial that I was doing on a hung hem. I've kind of done hung hems before when I showed how to make a bonnet. So that was one of my other tutorials, was how to actually make the bonnet. So I used these to show how to do a hung hem. I did a really long hung hem. I did a 30 row hung hem, which ends up being 15 rows because you fold it in half. And this is yarn that I had I had cranked for John, and I had leftovers, so I was playing yarn chicken. I had less than 1 gram left to put into my scrappy blanket. Let me put both on the blockers, because, you know, it does look nice when you hold both up and, you know, be accountable that they're both done. So, because now I was just making shorty socks, but I think because the hung hem, it just kind of sticks out a little, but I'm okay with that. These are both Jaeger spun. This is called the Aurora colorway. I don't know this one's colorway. This is Aurora. And I made a reels about this. I've been trying to make reels. I've been trying to post content. I've been trying to do all the things, even though sometimes my brain doesn't, you know, it's not there. But this tutorial will be out probably this week, which you won't see this till Saturday, so it might already be out. There you go. Congratulations. I'm posting content. All right. But these will be fun, just in the summer with some tennis shoes or whatever. The last thing I have to show you. John has attempted to dye. It's an Aran Weight Knit Picks Bear yarn, and it's a tweed yarn, and it has baby alpaca in it. And every time he's tried it, he's not happy with the results. So the first attempt was this. I don't think it looks bad, but this was for him for a sweater. Well, he don't like it. So we have 5 of these. 5. Then he attempted it. I told him I need more than 5 to make the sweater. And then he dyed 3 more to have the yardage. And then this is what we got. We have 3 of these. So these are more bluish, and here's one caked up. Not the same. Like, I could make a sweater, but like this would be like cuffs and the edge band or whatever, because he wanted a cardigan. But still not Not what he wanted. Not what he wanted. So we have 3 of those. Now, these all were okay, texture-wise. The last batch he did, he felted a little bit. Not terribly, because I'm able to cake it up. And I'll show you what I'm doing. He has okayed this. Sorry. So this was the last one, which does look different than this. And does look different than this. We have 5 of these. I also have an Addi Express king size, which is 48 needles, 48 stitches. I don't know. They're not really a needle. I don't know what you call it. Sorry about that. 48 stitches. And I cranked this on my Addi. Now this is waste yarn and this is waste yarn. I mean, I think it's really beautiful. Now I'm not going to make a hat. That is not the plan here. Because I have 13 skeins. I'm going to crank probably 12 of these. And then I shouldn't have bound off. I wasn't thinking when I did that. But it's okay. I'll just Kitchener another tube to the top because this is a tube. So it'll be doubly thick. I'm going to Kitchener another tube on the top of this. And I'm going to have 6 strips of 2 of these. Now this is on the floor. Well, I don't know how long this is. 2.5 feet maybe. So make that 5 foot tall. So 6 of these long strips, and I'm going to mattress seam them up the sides, and it'll be 6 panels wide, and we're gonna have the softest baby alpaca blanket in all these. It'll be fun, and I'll just figure it out. I'm not sure how I'm gonna arrange it. I think it's pretty, and honestly, he didn't want to sell it because it had felted a little. But after I caked it up, like I have another one. You can't even, like, you can't tell that it was felted a little bit, but he was very self-conscious about selling it, even at a discounted price. And I was like, well, what are we going to do with this? Because we need to do something. So that's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing. He's just admiring it, and he's going to definitely use it because he loves all the blankets I make. So... although I need to repair one, and I don't know how to even go about doing that. So it's really coming apart bad. Like I don't even know. It's a crochet granny square blanket, and it's really like there's don't know. Okay, I've talked a lot, and now I'm groggy-ish, or whatever is froggy, whatever you want to call it. Phlegmy. That's what's happening. I talked a lot for the first clip, but I don't know how many more clips I'll have, so see you in the next one. Hey everybody, it is Thursday, January 20th, and Hazel's home from school. I work from home on Thursdays. Yeah, we got so much snow. It was like rain. They'd called 2 hours last night because we were expecting some snow, and then they called it off completely, school, and then it rained. Now other parts of the county I guess may have had some snow, but Mom is still in the hospital. Every time they try getting her to walk, her blood pressure keeps falling, so that's not good. And then so when they picked her up in the ambulance, her blood pressure was really low. So they're working on that. I'm on day 2, 3 of only taking my steroid inhaler one time a day. And eventually I'm just going to run out of puffs. So I'll be completely off it. I tried doing it like cold turkey from 2 puffs a day to no puffs a day. That was a bad day. So, I don't know. I don't even know what day I talked to you last. But I have a finished object to show you. And I know I showed you the first one, but now I have 2. love them. They're really tall. I normally don't make socks this tall, but I mean, they're going to be pretty tall on my leg. But that's okay. I love them so much. They're beautiful. They're so beautiful. So now they're a finished object, and I will be taking pictures to post these on Instagram hopefully today. I have kind of a finished object, another finished object. I haven't used it yet, so I don't know how well it works, but let's just talk about it. I've been wanting to attempt to toe up socks again on my circular knitting machine, because every time I have failed miserably. Can't even get past the toe part because it doesn't have enough stretch. So when you're doing a cuff down sock on the machine, you're casting this on and it's like cranking this way. So crank, 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 crank. You do your heel, you crank, 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 and then you do your short row toe, and then you close up your toe. So when you do toe up, obviously it's the opposite. So what happens is on your machine, you're casting on half these stitches. So the bottom or the top, however you do your toe on your machine, you're casting on half of the stitches. You cast on, you do short row, short row, short rows, and then you increase. And then these stitches that you first started with, you have to pick up, like, your fabric has to be stretchy enough for you to pull this up from out of your machine and hang it onto the needles. And then when you start cranking, these are now on the needles that were on the back half that weren't in work, or in work, whatever. And the needle, this would be on the needles that you were already doing all the work on, where you ended. And then when you start cranking in the round, you're cranking that first row. And I have failed miserably, and I don't have enough stretch to get the first row of needles, first row of stitches onto the other side of the cylinder onto my needles. It's hard to explain, I guess, if without a visual. Like, some people probably can verbally understand that, but I am a very visual person. So Andy the Knitress, I was venting, and Andy hurried up and she videoed a video for me of her doing a short row, of her doing a toe, and she posted it. And I watched it, and I watched it, and I tried it, and I tried it, and I failed, and I got it, and I failed, but I finally got one. Because John asked me, he likes really tall socks. So when I made him another pair that was really tall, I used 4 balls of like Patton's Croy, because that's, they're 50-gram balls, but that was 200 grams. And I'm like, there's no way I need a full 2 skeins to make him a pair of socks. I can make this work. So I split one of the skeins that he dyed in half, so I had 2 equal parts. And then he had a mini skein that he dyed. And I decided to make him the Bobo look, like the old school skate socks that have like, they're usually white with like the stripes at the top. So I finally did a toe-up sock. And so the finished object that I need to show you, which I have not used yet, I just used a weight that I had. I made a soft weight for my machine. So a soft weight, when you're doing that toe, it's kind of like you have, once you hang all your stitches, you kind of have a cup. And you can't hang your buckle from just this tiny little cup, because that's all you have. You can't hang anything from it. So you make a soft weight. And the weight goes into your fabric, into your toe. And it holds all your stitches nice and tight with that downward pressure. And then you can start making the foot of your sock. This is filled, this is an old sock. I can't find the other one, so it's either stuck in a sweater somewhere or a pair of leggings, you know, static electricity. It's stuck in something, because I am very good. I don't hardly, like, I must not have a dryer monster, because my socks, I always have both of them. I've been very good about that all my life, and I don't know how or why, but this is a single one. I don't know. It's stuck in a piece of clothing somewhere that I haven't worn. So I dug in my drawer and I found it because I knew I had one, because eventually the match shows up. But now when the match shows up, I'm just gonna throw it away. Or make the other sock soft weight, because I bought BBs. That's what's in this, BBs, because you need it to be heavy. This is 3 pounds. So I shoved BBs in this, and I turned it inside out, shoved BBs in it, tied it off, flipped it over again, and then tied it off again. So the outside of the sock would be on the outside and pretty. So it's like vegetable socks. I haven't used this though, but I'm going to use it because I have a hoe and I want to do it on the other one. So I'm going to show you my hoe. This is the sock set called I'm Hunting Wabbits. Shh, I'm hunting wabbits. Not I'm hunting. Shh, I'm hunting wabbits. So it's the camo color with a safety orange, and I made it like a boa knit. These are John's. They're very tall, but I did them toe up, which is hard to tell any difference from cuff down. I mean, there's really not much difference. So once I was cranking, I cranked so much, and then I did some of the mini skein, and I cranked, I kept weighing my yarn, and then I think I have only a couple ounces left, or grams left, sorry, on the cone, which I'll just use as scrap yarn, but these are very tall and very awesome. So John is very happy. So when you do the toe down or cuff down, you just have to Kitchener your toe. It's like a different kind of Kitchener, I guess. I don't know. But when you do toe up, you have to bind this off really stretchy. I hate like that look of how the stretchy bind offs look, but you need it to be stretchy because it has to get over like that ankle, fat ankle part, that the arch and all that. Like you have to get it over that. So I did a sewn bind off, because what I did was I did my ribbing and then I did 2 rows of stockinette, and then I couldn't find a tubular bind off for just stockinette. I could only find a tubular bind off for ribbing. So I just did the sewn bind off, which is probably pretty similar. And it's very, I mean, it's stretchy. John already put these on. You might have already seen that on Instagram because he posted a picture. But I watched the Colorado Cranker, and she did, so I've tried the Latch tool bind off, and I didn't love it, but I'm going to try it again, because in all honesty, doing the sewn bind off versus the Latch tool bind off, I feel like they're probably about the same time wise. And if I get really good at doing it, it's a lot faster. So practice, right? Practice. You'll get faster at doing it, etc. So I am going to try the Latch tool bind off on the other one, and hopefully it works okay, because I really don't want to have to rip it out, but I think I'll be okay. I think I'll be all right, so I'm going to do that. I only have one more thing to show you, which is my pillow, my Mosaic Crochet pillow cover. And I wanted to show you this before I moved forward on it, because I don't remember if I had the border on. So I don't remember if I have the border. I know I had all my rectangles on. I'm talking too much and now it's causing phlegm. I put my border on, and then I talked in probably the last episode about you leave these long strands and then you're supposed to do like a slip stitch edging on all the rectangles on the front. Now it says you can do it with the yarn you've used, or you can pick a whole nother color. I just pulled all mine to the front and I wanted to show you this because I ran out in some spots, but here's the border. I don't know if I showed that. So you have one color from each of these rectangles as a long tail on the back side. What I did was I pulled them through to the front side, and I laid out the strand how I wanted the border to go. So on each one, the strand came out on this top corner here. So here and here. So I just took it and I went down and over on each one. Now this one I ran out, and I went down and over on this one, and I did that all the way around. So I went down and over and down and over, and it looks, I like the look of the slip stitch on it. Some of them I ran out though, but I have remaining yarn. So what I'm gonna do, like on this one where I ran out, see, doing my slip stitch border there, I'm gonna tuck this in to the back side and start a new strand and finish it, and I'll just weave in the ends on the back side. I think all of them except for, there was another one that I didn't have quite enough, but you get the idea. Like, oh, it may have been this blue one was really short. I mean, you can see how short the ends are. I'm gonna probably rip back a little and add another piece. And on this gray one here, they're really short. I'm just gonna rip it back a little and add in a new strand. So that's my plan. And then this will officially be, this part will be finished. And I just need to make a pillow pocket, fabric pillow pocket, envelope pillow, whatever, and then sew this to the front, and then shove a pillow in it, and it'll be done. I am glad I did the slip stitch, but now thinking back, like I kind of stretched out my slip stitches really far to try to not run out. But thinking back now, I don't know. I have to look at it and see if I hate it or if I love it, because I might rip all of them out, and knowing that I have more yarn, do it in every stitch so that they're not stretched out as far. Because like here's this edge where I didn't stretch them out real far because I wanted to cover that edge real nice, but here I stretched them out really long. I made the loops really long. And I think it would look nicer if it was shorter. But man, I don't want to rip all those out. Only because I'm leaning like this, trying to get my hook in, and needless to say, my neck hurt this morning because I did this last night. So, alright, I need to stop talking because this is not good. Yeah, go drink some water. Alright. But I wanted to show you guys before I like fully finished, because you can fix that. Like if you have the yarn, you can like just tuck in a few stitches back and just attach a new piece. I mean, and that's with like anything that you're doing. Like don't think that you can't like just stop it and attach a new piece if you have extra yarn for it. So all right, that's what I have, because now the monster's coming. Bye. All right, let's round up this video. It's Saturday, January 22nd. I didn't work on the pillow. I had a Zoom call, and I worked on my crochet blanket, and that is looking, I'm so excited about that. It's getting so big. It's so big. Wait, oh, I attempted color work on my sock machine. I will get that in a second after I show you John's other sock. So I finished cranking. I cranked the other sock toe up, and these will be in the shop as sock sets. So it'll be the Shootin' Deers, Drinking Beers and Shootin' Deers with a mini skein of Safety Orange, which we're calling together the sock set. Shh, I'm hunting wabbits. There'll be some other stuff in the shop, and there will all yarn. No, I didn't do any ball beanies or anything. I haven't had any time. But there will be some pre-cranked tubes that you can purchase, which will be at the price of the yarn plus the cranking service of the Knitty Bow cranking service price, which is the $11 if you buy our yarn and have it cranked. So those the cranked tubes will be $36. So there you go. Yeah, let me show you. So the first sock I took off the machine, and then I did a sewn bind off. And the second sock I did the latch hook bind off on the machine, which I watched a video from the Colorado Cranker But she has a different kind of machine where the cylinder actually moves. Mine doesn't move. My cam moves around it, but my cylinder stays stable. Stagnant? I don't know. It doesn't move. It doesn't turn. So hers turns, which made it really easy to turn, latch hook your stitches, turn, latch hook. Now, when you're doing that, just like any bind off, you have to make sure it's really loose. So I did do that. I don't remember which one is which, so I can't even tell you which one was the regular sewn bind off versus the latch hook bind off. One looks different, but I don't know. I think I know which one is what. I believe, okay, so there's two now. I didn't put them on blockers because they're way too big for the blockers. There's two. That is the sewn bind off. You probably can't tell. And then the latch hook bind off looks a little different because it kind of makes like a crochet chain around the top of the... Can you see like it's a crochet chain kind of around the edge? Where this one doesn't have that. It doesn't look like that. So, I've done both. They both take a lot of time. I could get quicker doing both of them if I did them. But I've only done 2 toe-up socks, and I'm pretty proud of them. So you can barely tell that that's where the stitches were hung, because it's on the front of the toe, on the top of the toe. This one you can barely tell at all. So let me go get that color work, because it's just interesting to show, but it's not like real exciting because I didn't make a project off of it. I just took it off the machine. And then yeah, my mom came home. I picked her up yesterday. Well, she's here. And we're checking her blood pressure and making sure her medicines are all doing what they're supposed to do. But I don't want to send her home too unstable, so we're still playing that all by ear. But let me go get that, and then I'll be right back. Okay, back. I'm back. Back. Okay, I didn't take this off. I need to take my inhaler. I did not take this off of the bonnet because I just took it off my machine this morning to do a little bit of cranking for the shop. So there's the bonnet, waste yarn, ravel cord. Now what I did here is because I was going to make like a cup holder, a cup koozie type thing. But I just was like, nah, I just didn't. Oh, that's them making noise. This top is a hung hem, but it's only 4 rows, and then you hang it, so it's two rows, which makes this tiniest little hem. See that tiny hem? And there's the inside. And then there's the inside of the color work. That's where I started the yarn, and it would have gotten pulled tighter, but... And then there's the outside. So I was just doing a 2x2 color work just to see if I could do it on the machine. I can. And it's tedious. And I'm not sure if I did do color work on my machine, I would probably do limited color work. I know Rosalind, she's got like the pink Erlbacher, the breast cancer edition one or whatever that came out a few years ago. She has some patterns on Ravelry that are color work, and they're pretty amazing. They're really cool. So, yeah, but you can do it. So if I wanted to do like a decorative, like top of a leg or cuff or whatever, I could do that. Just, you know, for funsies. This was some nitpicks. But I'm going to rip it out. All right, and that's all I have to show you. I have to get a lot of stuff ready. I am struggling with my breathing again and the coughing. This morning I decided to boil a pot of water, sit at my table with my head over the pot and a towel over my head, and that really helped significantly. So I'm gonna I might have to do it a few times a day to just feel okay, until this all starts clearing up. I did get the oral steroids, which I think I might take. My doctor said if the inhaler steroids didn't, like, if I wasn't feeling better after those stopped, to start doing the oral ones. So I might do that. I don't want to. I don't want to be on all these steroids. But I need to not wheeze and feel like crap and have to be like reliant on albuterol, my rescue inhaler, like all the time. So it needs to get better. I mean, they might have to do a whole nother round of steroids if it doesn't get better after this round of the oral steroids. I don't know. Or I'll have to go see my pulmonologist and see what they recommend, because they might want to put me on like something different. I know they had put me on like the disc, like Advair or something. So, I don't know. All right. Hello. Hazel's saying hello. She's in her cute koala onesie. Go ahead and show me your cute koala onesie. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, girl.
Like my haircut?
Do you like her haircut? Comment down below. I bet you they're gonna like it. All right, bye, baby. Okay, so remember to take care of yourselves, your loved ones, and everybody. And until the next episode, knit happy. See you then. Bye.